Welcome, everyone, to the Athletes Are Human First podcast. I have a very special guest here with me today. I'm going to go ahead and let her introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Kaitlyn Raagas. I'm going to be a senior this year and I go to Francis Parker High School.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us today. You have a lot of great topics we can talk about. Let's talk a little bit about kind of like how your high school career is going so far.
hmm so I've been at Francis Parker all 4 years. What really drew me to the school, I think, was like the academics there. Like that's such a huge part of like what I value, and then also the coaching staff. I mean, my current coach there, I've known her since fifth grade. She's really been like a huge impact in my life, and just knowing what we wanted to accomplish there, I think it meant a lot. My freshman year, I actually we made it to the D2 semifinals. And like the previous year, the team only had three wins. So I think just going in and making that huge impact and seeing like, going from like my middle school teams where I wasn't like that lead player, but going there, like I think just that experience really helped me grow as a player. And then next year we won CIFD2 championship, and then junior year sadly, we lost in the open division for CIF, but one last year from us to get that get back. But um, my like I've really had a good high school experience. Like we've added such like amazing talented players each year, so I've had to grow and learn each year. But I think definitely these past years, the biggest area that I've been able to improve in is my leadership, and just having players and coaches around me to help me with that has been really like impactful for me.
That's awesome. I mean, coming from a team that had 3 wins the year before, you come in as a freshman, average 17 a game. I mean, that's crazy for a freshman to come in and just have that huge of a scoring impact. Like, what was that like for you to come in and just be a scorer immediately? But also, I'm sure you had some role models, some upperclassmen that helped you along the way as well.
hmm I think just having conversations with my coaches and just knowing what our goal was for that season. I think there was definitely knowing that there was a lot of expectation to it. I did put a lot of pressure on myself, and I did, you know, get a lot like emotional bad body language type of things, but like I really had my coaches and great upperclassmen to hold me accountable, and they were great leaders as well, who really stepped up and helped me understand, you know, a little bit more past just like the basketball side, because it's such a demanding place there. But like as a freshman and having to carry that load, I think like I had to mature quicker. So I think that was like a big part of like my freshman year and understanding that, and having upperclassmen who were helping me with that situation.
And then, so freshman year, losing semifinals, obviously probably disappointing,
Mhm.
but probably a lot of people returning also for your sophomore year,
Mhm.
as well as having some freshmen come in as well. Talk about your sophomore year, what your expectations were going into the year, and how that year played out.
Oh, sorry, sophomore year, we knew that like we were gonna win D2. I think just knowing that we brought in a lot of great freshmen who like I've played with like ever since middle school as well, having um, amazing leaders still as seniors, just like understanding like I think in building that culture and expectation, I think that was really huge. And personally, my role did change a little bit. I think knowing that like, you're not the main player, but you're still one of the main players. Like we had more people, so I had in a way like more help. Like you weren't the only person to rely on. So I think just like changing that role and understanding that you can still be aggressive in the main player, but like the workload you had and just like the trust you had to build with even more teammates is like really big.
Was it hard to adjust to not being like, I mean, you were still the second leading scorer, but obviously having some help. How was that transition for you? Was it like, oh, I wish I can go score 20 a game, or was it like, oh, I'm so thankful that I have some help with me now that I'm not the only one and I'm
Yeah.
the main focus?
It was definitely like 50-50 with that. I mean, you come in as a freshman, you're scoring almost 20 points a game. Like, I mean, that in of itself like gets you high and stuff. But definitely didn't like bringing in help and just like we were winning even more games. I think that was really big for me because it's like at the end, like I just want to win and I will do whatever we need to win. But I think it just also made me realize like how much more you can impact and how much more you need to be consistent because you know freshman year when when you're focused on scoring and like doing everything for your team, but then now you have other scorers, but like maybe there's a drop off at any other places. I think that was really huge for me, and I think just um I didn't really talk with my coach about it as much as I probably should have. It was just like, seeing what's it called? Like where stuff was offensively and defensively. Cause I think, you tend to get into that place where you complain a lot. And I wasn't being open about like sharing how I felt and like you know, how I can make a change in a way.
Talk about the playoff run, right? Because that must be, I mean, got to be a memorable time, right? So talk about a little bit about that section title playoff run.
Yeah. So that D2 run, I mean, we were, I think, top 5 in San Diego, but because of like we weren't in Division 1, we couldn't go open division and we couldn't compete with some of those people. Um, so I think like our journey to D2 was like definitely, if you will, a bit easier because I think like our first couple of rounds we did blow out a couple of teams, but we won the D2 championship, I think still double digits, but it was our state run that was really important to us because I mean, our seniors we had like they were such huge influences in for our team, and just knowing that like that was our final year with them. We made it past the first round, and then second round we played against a team in Bakersfield. So we had to drive up there, that 5-hour drive, and then we sadly lost that game. I mean, nothing. It felt like nothing was going our way, but I mean, still a great experience with that state run, and I think it really opened our eyes on like how we can always improve.
And then junior year, you guys move up to open division, right? I
Mhm.
actually got to see you guys play at the MLK Classic in St. Mary's. Obviously, your team super talented. How was that open run playoff?
It was good. I mean, but we did come up short. We were number 1 in San Diego. We were actually the first team in Francis Parker history to be number 1 in open division and what's it called and make the open division championship. We just came up short in that game. The team we lost to, we actually lost previously in the season by 3 points. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that went wrong with that game. We had our leading scorer. She was out with a stress fracture. Two of our key players in the starting lineup got injured during that game, and then with like 5 minutes left, like our last starter fouled out when we were down by like 5. So I was the only starter left. But I mean, I think it just really, again, opened our eyes up in the sense of like what we can do better, not getting complacent. Because, I mean, that team did come out with a lot of fire and like knew they wanted to beat us. But I did think we did struggle. I think more this past season. I think just with like not so much chemistry, but just getting like a good flow throughout the season. We did have a lot of people just coming in and out with like injuries, especially for the starting lineup. So I just think that um that was a huge thing. And like the only upperclassmen we had was like me and 2 other juniors. We had no seniors this past year. So it was like a lot on my class and then some of our sophomores to just like mature a lot quicker and step up with that leadership aspect. But I think there is a lot of things we could have done like from within that could have changed because we had a really talented team last year. So yeah.
Yeah, very talented, and the fact that you had no seniors makes the season even more impressive, right? To be able to go number 1 in San Diego, open division. Yeah, it fell short, but I mean, honestly, it's still an amazing accomplishment, being that it's the first time ever for your school, and
Yeah.
you as a leader, it's a junior, right? So you didn't have any senior leadership, and then obviously coming up this upcoming year, you guys are gonna make a run at it again.
Yeah.
So. Let's transition a little bit to AAU basketball.
Mhm.
Where is your AAU journey taking you?
I mean, AAU has opened a lot of doors for me, and being able to play on some of the teams I have been and talk to a lot of the coaches that for college that I have been able to. I'm just extremely grateful. This past season, playing with 7 days, 3 SSB, we won the whole thing for the Adidas Championship. So that, I mean, that in of itself was like really a highlight of all my summers, and just that team and getting to like really get to know them, because I've played against a lot of them growing up, but being on such like, in a way, a super team, that was like a really fun thing. And just to like see and watch some of these like top guards in the nation, just like how, their confidence, their play style, just like really getting to learn and observe from them, and just um just kind of see how what from their game I can implement mine, especially with, I think, their confidence and calmness. I think they really set the tone each and every day. They're really consistent, and I think just bringing that to like my high school team, I think is going to be really important. Plus, like the vocal piece.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, with Kalina, right, and leading the team, but also there's so much other talent on that team, full of
Mhm.
prospects, yourself included. How was adjusting to your role, kind of to whatever situation you were put in? What was that like for you?
I knew coming into it, my role was gonna be, kind of this like 3 and D role. I think that's like something that I've always done really well. I knew I would be able to get playing time, but the amount of playing time, I knew that was going to be different. So just understanding how I am gonna stand out in front of these college coaches, knowing that it was my last year, and like knowing what I want for college. Like this was my final run to be seen by coaches. I mean, there still has high school, but knowing my timeline and when I want to commit, I really wanted to make an impact for AAU. And I think just understanding that, like, college coaches aren't looking for someone to go out and score 20 points a game. They like with college, like there's a lot of systems. So it's like who is going to be a good fit for our system, and like how well can they play their role. So just understanding my strengths and sticking to my game, I think that was like the really important thing. Obviously, when you do get the ball offensively, you still need to be aggressive, because you don't want to be passive. Like that's also something that I've had to remind myself, is like you can't get timid in front of these people. You can still score, you're still capable of all this stuff, but like um just to stay on the court, you have to do the little things and like make an impact in other ways. And I think just knowing, having a positive mindset, and in a way, like I don't care mindset, was like really important to me, because it's like you're gonna get down on yourself feeling that like you had a terrible game. College coaches like aren't gonna look at me, I didn't play as much as I wanted to, but just knowing that everything was going to work out in its end, and like knowing that I was still being proactive and talking to coaches and reaching out, I knew there was going to be a fit for me. And the I don't care mindset, it's like with AAU, it's such a different landscape, and that I've learned that, like, your coach isn't gonna punish you for being aggressive. So you might as well just kind of make everything like with 100% confidence, and just knowing that like if your minutes are limited, you should be making a really big impact when you come in.
I mean, talk a little bit about playing for Coach Dre and understanding that, or going into it knowing that he has your back through this whole process. How important is that to you as a player, going in like, yeah, if I make mistakes, it's okay. I know I got to just play hard.
Mm-hmm. Um, I've knew from the jump that he was gonna have my back, like you said. I think like being on phone calls with him when I first was joining the team, and just understanding what he has done for people, and just like his overall energy was amazing, and like he really cared for each and every one of us. He made all these phone calls for us. Like he was always busy doing stuff for us. And I think also just communicating with him about feedback and advice, like I wasn't scared to do that, because like I knew that like this is my final year. I know he cares for me. Like this relationship needs to, like, it shouldn't be a one-way thing. Like I need to communicate to him on how I'm feeling, like, and hopefully he can help me as best as he can. Because just knowing that I have a really good relationship with my high school coach, the since like fifth grade, and like I've learned to communicate more with her. I think that was really important to me. And just understanding like that what he has done for people, and I'm like, I really trust this team and knowing that like what's gonna get come out of it, just being with like these like top talented players.
Yeah, I mean, how much pressure is there playing? Because obviously we've seen some of those three SSB games, baseline, sidelines, hundreds of coaches.
Mhm.
What's that environment like playing in?
Oh, I remember my first game. It was so scary because we played Southeast All Stars, our very first game in the arena in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Just seeing the amount of coaches there was, the amount of fans there was. I just remember like when I got there, like seeing Don Staley courtside. Like, I mean, never would I have thought when I was like younger that like I'd be able to play in front of these like top coaches in the nation. And like obviously um knowing that there's so many coaches, like I was going to get seen by someone who would appreciate me for what I can do. And I think just coming into it, just like you have, like I just reminded myself to keep playing hard and keep playing your game, because again, like the whole limited minute stuff, like I knew I would and could get playing time. It's just the amount would vary. But I just remember that first game was very nerve wracking. And even in, we're in Hamilton, Ohio, playing against like AEBL, like, some of those other top teams from other circuits, like the courts were so, like tight together. So it's like, it felt like so hot because of how many like coaches were on the baseline, fans just surrounding the court, the amount of media there. I mean, it is very nerve wracking, but I think once you get on the court and you're just playing, like you forget about everything and you just want to like make that impression.
Yeah, talk about a little bit about standing out kind of with the recruitment process, kind of going into it knowing you're not going to be playing the whole game like your high school games, and how you still try to make the most out of the limited minutes, or how you made the most out of the minutes that you received, but also doing things other than scoring to help your team win.
Yeah, so I think first and foremost, the most important thing that helped me stand out is communicating to coaches, like reaching out through email, reaching out on Twitter or X, just like always making sure I'm communicating with coaches and sending out highlights, because coming into the tournament, like I knew coaches were going to be there, but some of the schools that I wanted to go to or see me, like I needed to make sure I told them where my schedule, like what court I'm playing, like just all the little things to make sure that like I was going to be seen by some place I want to go, and just being proactive in that process, because like nothing is going to be handed to you. Like yes, coaches are going to be seeing you there, but like they may not reach out to you. So it's like initiating that was very important for me, and I started doing that since freshman year. So that was something that I think has really impacted my recruitment process. And coming in with like, these like, I guess like the knowing how much, not knowing how many minutes I get per game, I think just always having the mindset, like my high school coaches always told me, is like make the championship winning plays. Being in help defense and like rotating, communicating, little things like fronting the post, moving off the ball. I think like um, just that stuff like really helped me stand out. I've had like coaches after games like tell me like, oh, like your help defense was great, like fronting the post, the 50-50 balls, communication, your good body language, just like the little things, like they do notice that stuff. And I know it may not feel like it, but like they know what they're doing. Like college coaches know what they're doing, so they're looking at everything. So just understanding that like um you may not be the the main player on that team, but like they're looking for little things because they're looking for a player who can like fit their system and like play their role really well, because that's how college is. Like you're gonna have people who are like as fast as you, as tall as you, as strong as you, who can score like as good as you or not better. It's just like how you're gonna make your impact.
Yeah, I think you touched on a lot of really good things right there. College coaches, yeah, they want to see, if you can score talent, but they also want to see all the little things, right? You think about they're evaluating thousands and thousands of kids,
Mhm.
and they have to find someone that can fit their program, their style of play. So there's a lot of things that don't even go into the stat sheets that can really help your recruitment process. And also, you mentioned as a freshman, you were reaching out to college coaches. I think a lot of kids right now make that mistake of waiting till maybe their sophomore, junior year, and they're like, "Oh, I haven't got anything. Maybe I should start reaching out to coaches." Like you
Mhm.
took the proactive approach from the beginning, right? As a freshman, reaching out to tons of programs at all levels just to make sure you get on their radar.
Mhm.
As you have played, your high school, your AU, they've been following you, right? You might not know that they're following you, but you're on the radar. And now, as your junior into senior year, when you're reaching out to them, it's not like, oh, this is the first time that I'm reaching out to the school and now I'm interested in them. It's like, no, I've been reaching out since a freshman. You might not have been able to respond back yet, but I have been reaching out. I have been trying to get in contact, and I have been interested in your program because at the end of the day, it's finding the right fit for you as an athlete as well.
Yeah, that's really important. And like, I'm so thankful to have had like really close families who had like older siblings. Like, a lot of my teammates had older siblings who went through the recruiting process. So, them being able to share a lot of their insight and their advice was really important. Like, that's why I started sending emails out after my freshman high school season. Like, my dad, he like bless him, he like records all of my games like AU or high school, so like he's been able to help me put together highlight films, send them out to coaches, and just like, I think in the beginning I did, I was thinking about like some of the schools I really wanted to go to, but I think just like sending it out to a lot of coaches with like with the intent of just like getting on their radar, because I know the NCAA rule is like you can't directly communicate with players until I think like summer of your sophomore year in around June. So just like knowing that like, hey, I'm gonna send it out with maybe not getting responses, but like just getting on their radar early so that when the time comes and like if they reach out to my college, not my college, sorry, my high school coach, it's like, um, I can facilitate that conversation through there and just trying to be seen, because like I think coming from San Diego as well, like I'm not like from LA where it's like you have some of these like top programs there. Like San Diego basketball like has been good. I think like recently maybe not as much, but just to be seen in the high school realm compared to the AAU realm, because you're not going to have college coaches at like every single one of your practices or your games. Just making sure that you're just being proactive, because it's like nothing's going to be handed to you that way.
Talk a little bit about you just went on a visit recently. Talk a little bit about how that visit went and that whole experience of just being on a visit.
Oh, that visit was amazing. I really enjoyed the coaching staff. It is East Coast, so like getting that new experience of like something that I haven't really known. Like that was my first time in Maryland, so um, I really just enjoyed it. Just just getting to know the coaching staff, like the program, the school, and just like understanding like, can this be a good fit for me? Because um, I think the biggest thing for me is just like you can't cross off any options. That was something that my parents always reminded me. Like you have to be open minded. You can't be closed off, because it's like, something that you may have and like you never would have seen yourself. Like you could possibly end up there, because it's just opportunities on opportunities. Like you're like, not everyone gets the opportunity to go on a visit. Not everyone gets the opportunity to be talking to college coaches like this. So it's like, I think just coming in with that like the gratitude mindset and just like, really making the most of everything.
Yeah, I mean, talk about like, I mean, obviously it's not a traditional school, right? So being at, and sorry, we should just say what school. So
Oh,
Navy. So,
yes.
uh, but talk about like, I mean, you guys probably went around to see kind of what the campus looks like, what the base looks like, but also like taking pictures, like How surreal is that, right? Because like obviously you play high school AAU to have opportunity to play at college, regardless of level, and
Mhm.
it's like now it's becoming like a reality for you. What's that? How are you feeling about that?
It's just so crazy. I mean, um, it's funny because my grandpa on my mom's side, like he enlisted into the Navy coming from the Philippines, and like he served 20 years there. So, and his sacrifice was able to like help bring my family to the United States and ultimately like have these opportunities to like be here. And I think just understanding like um it is a different school, but like knowing that like um I'm still gonna get the college experience and getting to play at the next level. That's all I could have dreamed of. So just reflecting, being like all this hard work I've put in has really been paying off.
Yeah, I mean, talk about now going into like your senior year, right? This is your senior year. You obviously have to be a leader,
Mhm.
whether that's whether that's vocal or like the silent, just go about your business. But also talking about like the your confidence level now as a senior. Where is that at for you?
Yeah, I think each year I've gained so much confidence. I think from my play and just seeing how my hard work has paid off, I think that has really given me the confidence I need. And just um, again, like my coach has been a huge influence in my life. Like she's, I've had so many talks with her about like confidence and like leadership and just like understanding like my confidence needs to come from myself, not validation from anyone else, and just making sure I'm having positive self-talk. And throughout the years, that's definitely something that I've been able to work on and just improve on each time. And I think it just overall helps my play and just like my body language and just like my leadership. um, and speaking on the leadership part, I think um, coming in as a freshman, having these expectations, I definitely had to mature quicker, and I like did have a lot of talks with my coach about that. And it was a really hard adjustment, but I'm so thankful to had have like upperclassmen who were really great leaders. Like they weren't they weren't the basketball wasn't their main sport, but just having like someone on, on the team who can hold me accountable and just really teach me what it takes to be like a leader like that, I think that was really important. um and I've improved each year. I just think that like um I haven't had like the opportunity, I guess, in a way to like really see what leadership looks like on and off the court. I mean, you have these college girls who like I think like when they have freshmen come in like um they've been there for a long time and like they know how to lead on the court and off the court, and like obviously there's different leadership styles, and like I'm not the most vocal person like 24/7, but um I think something that has really been big for my team is like leading by example. And if you will, like I kind of view it as a like silent leadership, because it's like you leading by example, you set the tone, you set the standard for everyone. And when you do speak though, because you are leading by example, you're that top person, your words are really respected. And I think that's something that I've really tried to like emulate, because I think just knowing the amount of experience I've had, some of the coaches I've had, and some of the players I've got to play with, just seeing that and trying to um, show it for my team, because it's like there's no reason why I shouldn't be vocal, but like if I'm not, then I have to like my actions speak louder than my words too. And I think this past season with 7 days, I really got to see that. I think especially with Kalina. Her game and her consistency really spoke more than her words, and just coming in and like everyone respecting her like and knew what she was going to provide. I think it did provide a lot of respect and like leadership and following like that standard. So I think that's something that I'm really looking forward to with this season, because this is my last year, so I really want to leave Parker with like my legacy, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I forgot to talk about AAU. Let's go back to AAU. Okay, so for those who don't know, 7 days they won the whole three SB championships. Talk about that championship game because so many emotions going through, so many ups and downs. I have to talk about that game. Tell me a little bit more about that and how it went.
Did you actually see how it ended?
I did.
Oh my gosh. Like I just remember um watching and like, getting to be in that environment, play in that environment, and like it was just crazy because like we played them literally I think like 2 days ago because like they were part of like our set games before bracket,
Mhm.
and we won by 3 against them. So like coming into it, um it was like fresh off like a win against them, and I knew they were going to be hungry. They had just beaten Northwest Greyhounds, who we thought we were actually going to possibly play, and that's the only team we lost to that season. So it was very exciting, and oh my god, that ending, it's just all a blur because like we were up. I don't even remember how it went into overtime. Like I just remember that Kalina's last three when we were tied, it looked good, but I forgot if it hit like back rim or short or hit short. So I mean, we go into overtime. There's a lot of emotions flying because it's just like, damn, we could have won this thing earlier. Now we got to keep playing. Um, and like everyone's tired, like the gym's like getting loud. It's like you have that like anxious energy in a way, but it's like it's still exciting to be a part of this game, and knowing what like that we wanted to win. I think like coming into it we were like ready, but oh my gosh, just that ending where she missed the layup. I mean, it just bounced in and out. Like she had a wide open layup. Like there's nothing else like you could have done. It was either like she made it or she missed it. And like I think everyone in that building thought we were gonna lose because I think we were up by 1 point after she made the free throw, the inbounds turnover into that layup. But it was just so funny because I think like looking back at it, like and talking about it with my teammates, like no one celebrated after we won. Like we just won by 1 point, not the prettiest win, but like we didn't start celebrating until after handshake lines, and I think we were just waiting for our Coach Dre, to like say something because we were all like scared because it's just like this is not how it was supposed to happen.
And then I mean, talk about like just the whole celebration after, right? Once it like finally hits. I mean, I saw all the TikToks, all the pictures, all the everything. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, how you put so much work into, basketball to finally cap it off with like a 3 SSB championship that very few people get to do.
Mhm.
What does that mean for you and your basketball journey that's kind of getting started?
Oh, it means a lot. I mean, just getting the opportunity first and foremost to play with such a great team like that. I think like we really bonded over that summer, and I mean, uh, we had so much love for each other, and like just knowing that our ultimate goal was to win, because like we knew with our team we're like we could really do something big, and just knowing that we had 8 on the team and 6 of us were 26s, like this was our final run. So I mean, let's go out with a bang. Like I think that was like the really like that was just like the biggest thing for us. Um, and I mean, just bringing in that experience with that team and playing against some of the top players in the nation from like across like other teams, just knowing that I was able to like compete with them, it's just like I feel like that gives me enough confidence to like bring into my high school season and for college. Obviously, when you get to college, it kind of is restarted because you're back as a freshman, and like it's a whole nother new landscape. But just like I think always keeping in mind those experiences and like the little things that you can like and the lessons that you can take from there, I think that's definitely um, the biggest thing that has really stuck with me, and something that I would definitely carry on.
Okay, a couple more questions, and then we'll go ahead and end it out. Who were your biggest influences in your basketball life?
First, I'd say my dad. He actually played growing up too. So I mean, when I started picking up a ball, I think that definitely like he had some fun with that. But he has really been influential in my basketball journey. You know, he's the person who was like putting me through workouts in the very beginning. He was like my very first coach. Like he records all my games. He like puts together film highlights for me. I mean, he really has been such a huge influence. Same as my mom, my biggest supporter, and forever grateful for like every sacrifice they made for me to get where I am. Just like, you know, all the drives when when I didn't have my license, the late nights, early mornings, the money they've had to spend for travel, being on these teams. Like, I think just forever grateful, and just seeing how much all of that has paid off is definitely. Um, Also, my high school coach, Coach Courtney Clements, she was my coach from 5th grade to now. I think she played in the WNBA, was like really big at SDSU. Like she has such a good resume, and she has truly cared for me since the beginning. And I mean, our relationship has gone through a lot and like has grown since then. I think me being able to communicate with her was like the biggest thing, because she like, you know, it feels like at times like, you know, she hated me just like with how like fierce and competitive she is. And um I think that I was never able to like, you know, communicate past that in a way for her to like, for us to like truly understand each other. But I mean, she has been done nothing but like positive things in my life, and has really prepared me for everything that is coming my way. Um, and I think just my teammates and all the other coaches, like Coach Dre, Coach Alex, and just like my high school teammates who I've like grown up with since middle school, AAU teammates. I think like the bond that I've created with them, like I think that has always like influenced me, and just like competing against them too. Like they are some of, you know, best talent from San Diego, from wherever. So I think that's someone who also has been like a huge influence.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we always talk about it takes a village.
Mhm.
But, having your parents there to support you throughout that process. Now that you can really kind of take a step back and like understand how much they truly did for you, right?
Yeah.
I think I tell kids all the time, like you have to thank your parents because you have no idea how much they're sacrificing and the time, money, energy to just give you the opportunity to play basketball and
Yeah.
whatever happens after that, but still be thankful throughout that process because they're doing a lot for, for you guys as individuals. And then obviously coaches, huge impact on players. Finding the right coach, someone that you can trust, that someone they can know that always has your back,
Mhm.
can really make or break your basketball career, right? And for
Mhm.
you, you had Coach Courtney, who has been there to support you from 5th grade, and that's had to have been special, like winning a section championship with her
Mhm.
and with the kids you grew up with, right? Because I think a lot of teams now is they're picking kids from all over, and
Mhm.
there's not necessarily that bond that they have
Yeah.
where you played with them in middle school, you've played with them, your whole life, and to do
Mhm.
that with them is like very special, right?
Yeah.
So
And I
hopefully,
think to add on to that, sorry, is like, you know, when you have that bond with like your teammates who have like become like your best friends and like sisters for life in a way, it's like it ultimately becomes something bigger than yourself, and you're playing for them, especially if you have that collective goal. Like I think like example with 7 days, like knowing we wanted to win it all, and we really had a good opportunity to. You had 6 out of 8 2026s, like, and we had such like a tight bond with each other. I think like we ultimately in a way would like play for each other, and I think that's how it has been for high school too. And I think my final year, like just understanding that like the main goal is to win. Like I'm doing everything I can to win, and you know I'm playing for you. So like I'm gonna be my best version of myself, so that it ultimately helps you, you know, be the best version of yourself as well.
what's some advice you would give to, say, kids in like middle school, freshman year that that want to play college basketball? What's some advice you can give them?
My biggest advice, I think, is to stay positive through it all. I mean, you will have a lot of ups and downs, whether it's like injuries, you feel like you're not getting enough playing time, like you're not doing enough, you're doing all this hard work just to not be seen. But just know that like there always is a plan for you, and like it always is gonna work out in the end. Like, and just remembering that like you don't need validation from anyone else, like um just trust your work, make sure you're having positive self-talk, and like your confidence and come from you. And I mean, with how like the recruiting landscape is, like definitely when you get into high school, or maybe even sooner if you want, like reach out to college coaches, especially if that's the dream you aspire to achieve. So yeah, I think just speaking from my experience and seeing where I've come, like I think those have definitely been the biggest influences in my life. And then just also having a mentor, like I think my coach and like my parents were definitely like amazing impacts in my life, and being able to like talk with them and just um like in a way hold me accountable to myself, and just staying true to everything that I've put in.
Yeah, and we can talk about this. You had to play with an injury, right, throughout the circuit. So like knowing that it's your last run, and there's probably people who didn't want you to play, but yet you still played
Mhm.
with the mask and had to overcome all of that. Shows just a testament to who you are as a player. Like you weren't going to let that stop you from playing
Mhm.
your last year of AAU basketball. Just shows truly who you are as a competitor. So that's a huge shout out to you for sure.
Thank you.
Last thing, what would you tell your younger self? Because now you're pretty much going to be playing your senior year. You're going to probably have the opportunity to play college basketball. What's something you want to tell your younger self?
To keep working, I think I've spent so many like late nights or early mornings putting in work, and feeling that I'm not being seen, or I'm not getting the minutes maybe I deserve, especially for AU, or like for high school, we're not, I'm not producing enough for the team, or like I'm not fulfilling my role enough. But like just keep working. It's easy to complain and get in that headspace, but like truly, like I think once I've understood about like my self-confidence and positivity, like I think that's really been the biggest separator. And just to remember like that hard work will pay off, and remember that like it's just about consistency from there on.
Yeah, I mean, your hard work has paid off for sure. All the times that you thought maybe you weren't being seen, but now you are being recruited by college coaches. All that work is paying off, right?
Mhm.
So I just want to say your story is so inspiring. I appreciate you sharing it, but also wish you the best of luck in your senior year, right? I mean, it's hope you have just a ton of fun playing basketball, right? Enjoying that
Yeah,
whole experience with your friends, with your coaches, with your parents, and enjoying that experience, but also understanding like the work is not done, right? You still
yeah.
want to go win a section title, you still want to make a state title run,
Mhm.
you still want to figure out where you're going to college. So,
Mhm.
wish you the best of luck with with your recruitment, figuring out what that's going to look like for you. Just wish you nothing but the best, and thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you so much for having me.